And now, aviation weather around Alaska. Hello, I'm meteorologist Peter Chan with the National Weather Service. This is your aviation weather outlook given as of this Friday, July 14th. And on the weather map this afternoon, we have an area of low pressure that's working its way across the lower portion of the Bering Sea. And this feature is going to be tapping into more moisture as we go through the weekend. Saturday into Sunday, widespread areas of rain around Cook Inlet, Shelikof Strait back through the southwest interior. We're also going to be watching a mid-level low drop in out of the northern portion of the Bering and then across the Kuskokwim and Bristol Bay areas as we go through Sunday night and Monday. So this is just going to reinforce lower ceilings, widespread precipitation across much of the southwest and areas up around Cook Inlet, as well as especially the western central Alaska range. And looking at flying conditions Saturday morning, widespread IFR conditions along areas of Norton Sound, Nome, out to the west throughout the Bering, and this includes the entire Aleutian chain. We also have IFR conditions along much of the Gulf as you get out south of the coast there. Interior MVFR conditions extend along the Alaska Range up to the Alcan border. Saturday afternoon, though, we expect IFR to increase extensively here across the southwest upper portion of the Alaska Peninsula. Much of the Gulf, including Prince William Sound, we have IFR conditions that continue northward up through the Bering Strait, Chukchi Sea, and then along the Arctic coastline. Sunday morning, widespread IFR conditions will be pushing up through areas of the interior, central Yukon Valley, south of the Brooks Range, as this moisture is being gradually drawn further inland northward. Widespread IFR continues across a good portion of the Gulf, including the eastern Kenai, Prince William Sound, also up into the southern Panhandle. And then on Sunday afternoon, maybe a little relaxation in some of the IFR conditions, but still precipitation will be in place here over areas of the southwest and Alaska Peninsula. So past conditions at Anatuvik Pass on Saturday, we expect MVFR conditions become VFR. Same thing at Adigan Pass, MVFR conditions early there in the morning becoming VFR, but as we go further south and west, that system is going to cause IFR conditions to develop along the western half there of the Alaska Range as we go through Saturday, lowering ceilings and areas of precipitation increasing. Same thing, Rainy Pass, MVFR becoming IFR, Windy Pass, MVFR becoming IFR on Saturday. Isabel should manage to hang on to mainly MVFR conditions. During the daylight hours Saturday, Metasta Pass further east, VFR conditions should be able to hold on to VFR there at Mentasta. Further south and west across the Copper River, Tanita Pass generally keeping MVFR conditions on Saturday. And then as we get down toward Portage Pass in the Gulf, we do expect IFR conditions to develop on Saturday at Portage Pass, especially the east entrance and out over Prince William Sound, and that trend will continue into Saturday night and Sunday. Chilkoot and White, though, should generally have VFR conditions during the daytime on Saturday. So looking at freezing levels aloft, we have some warmer air that is located nudging up into the Alaska Peninsula, rising up to 14,000 feet or a bit higher back toward the central western Aleutian. So this insurgence here of warmer, more moist air is going to be riding northeastward up along the Alaska Peninsula into the southwest and up along the Alaska Range. Coolest pocket of air aloft is back toward the northern Bering and up toward areas of the Brooks Range and northwest Arctic coast. Greatest threat for icing on Saturday, considerable moderate icing over areas of the Alaska Range, especially, say, vicinity of Rainy Pass down through Lake Clark and Merrill. Also areas of the southwest and throughout Cook Inlet and portions of the Kenai Peninsula. Freezing levels relatively high, though generally above 12,000 feet. Further south and west, freezing levels are above 14,000 feet as you get back toward the Aleutians. Upper level jet stream winds at 30,000 feet. You can see the circulation, the trough of low pressure back here toward Kuskokwim Bay on Saturday, and winds aloft as high as 85 knots from the west-northwest across the Alaska Peninsula. And on Saturday, as we bring it down to 700 millibars, you see the low circulation back toward the Yukon Delta, with west-northwest winds across the Alaska Peninsula. Eastern Aleutians as high as 45 knots, and then bringing it down to 3,000 feet. We find low circulation back here across the southwest coastal areas with winds in advance of that trough from the southwest at 35 knots. The greatest threat for turbulence on Saturday will exist from areas of the Alaska Range down across Cook Inlet, Kodiak Island, the Kenai Peninsula, trailing all the way back across the Alaska Peninsula and into the Aleutian Chain, generally surface to 4,000 feet. But there could be a few areas where it's surface to 5,000 or 6,000 feet here. Kenai on up toward maybe portions of just south of the Alaska Range, say south of Isabel Pass. And then also we have a pocket of turbulence potential back out east of the Seward Peninsula and out toward the tip there of the northwest coast along the Chukchi Sea coast in the vicinity of Point Hope, Point Lay. Surface to 4,000 feet. Turbulence is possible there during the day on Saturday.